This is Jason Lee with Exponent Advisors. In our previous video, we were talking about your circle of wealth. Inside of your circle of wealth, how there's potential opportunities where you're losing money unknowingly and unnecessarily. As part of our video series, we wanted to discuss how mortgages and how you pay for your mortgages could cause potential leaks in your circle of wealth and have a negative impact without you knowing it. Now, a big component people don't consider when it's time to invest into their home is really how inflation works. So we're going to share a quick story or example of just how your mortgage and how inflation impacts your mortgage over a period of time. But to help you with this, I'm going to give you a simple illustration to start with to kind of frame this up. The first illustration is simple. If today your child came to you, let's say they're 10 years old, and said, "Dad, can I have $1? I want to go buy some candy." They took that dollar, went down to the store, purchased some candy. We're going to guess that they're on their bike, right? So they go to the corner store on their bike, they buy a little candy, they get back to the house. You're probably already thinking to yourself, how much candy can you even get with $1? I remember growing up, I could get quite a bit. Now, they scramble together and they grab a little bit of candy. Now, fast forward, it's 25 years later. Your grandkids are in the same house. They come to you and they say, "Grandpa, can I have $1? I'd like to go get some candy." Now, what would you say? The answer is, you probably can't get any candy, because for $1, I can't even imagine you could buy a piece of candy in 25 years from now, when I think about what I used to be able to purchase for $1 when I was a kid buying candy 20 years ago. So using that as the illustration, keep this in mind. That same house that you're standing in, if you were paying $1,500 for your mortgage in that house today, you'd still be paying $1,500 into the future. That's how that works, if you're paying the same mortgage with the same interest rate. Now, if everything's inflating around you, let's say at approximately 3%, in candy, gas, shoes, clothing, if everything with the cost of goods is going around or going up, but you still have a fixed cost that stays the same, it's going to feel like living in the same house. It costs you less money. So we're going to show you how that works. If you look at now in this illustration, we have a $1,500 mortgage with a 3% inflation rate. I'm going to show you how this works over a period of time. First and foremost, let's jump up to 10 years. You're watching it drip over time. We'll stop it at 10 years. $1,116. So in 10 years from now, your $1,500 mortgage with a 3% inflation rate is going to feel like $1,116. Now let's jump out in the future, 20 years from now. We're watching it tick down over time. 20 years from now, that same mortgage, $830. So almost half of the cost of what it felt like today. And now, 30 years from now, we won't go out into the 30s because that's when you're going to have the house paid off, so it's relevant at that point in time. But we do know that if you're financing your home over 30 years, at the end of that 20th year, the cost feels like it's about half as much. So as you're starting to try to determine what you can afford on a monthly basis, and should I pay it off sooner, should I put more money down, as you're starting to make these decisions, the idea with this series of videos is help educate you on how you collectively bring your finances together and how you address the money that you put into your home as an asset.